Okay, so it's winter time. We're not really equipped for, or I guess it's fall, November, rainy season in the Pacific Northwest, and we're not really equipped for cold weather camping. So wintertime is going to be the perfect time to take care of some of the big projects that we've got for the Sin Wagon. The first thing that we're going to be doing, we're going to put a roof rack on the top. And I searched high and low, and I finally found a aftermarket roof rack manufacturer that I'll be able to use to put a roof rack on here. I wanted to have something that's lightweight but heavy duty enough to haul a rooftop tent. The guys down there at Overland in Troutdale, Oregon hooked us up and got the dimensions. We got it all figured out. It took us about a month to coordinate with the guys at Front Runner, and we're getting our rack shipped as we speak, and they're going to be installing it next week. Before I can do that, I want to get the headliner out of here so those guys can see what they're working with. I know they're going to probably end up using riv nuts in there, but I want them to see what they're drilling into. Plus, it's a good opportunity for me to run some wiring for my house batteries that I'm going to be installing, and that'll be a good time for me to do that, kind of take care of some cleanup. But first, we got to get the headliner out. Now, I searched high and low, and I can't find a video anywhere of anybody taking a headliner out. So this is gonna be a process, and you get to go with me. I was able to find some instructions that kind of gave some vague ideas of where to go. It looks pretty straightforward, but it definitely sounds like there's some do's and don'ts that we want to do and don't want to do to make sure we don't wreck that headliner, because I'm planning on putting the same headliner right back in. My headliner is in perfect condition, and I'm hoping, the goal, cross our fingers, is to get it out and get it back in without damaging it. Of course, the first thing we needed to do was get it all emptied out. We had to get all of our gear out of there and get it ready so we can get in there and get things removed and get it ready to take down. And if you look at the van, I mean, all you got to do is just kind of look. The side panels on there overlap over the headliner. And it looks like if I take that section out, I will be able to get to the headliner. And if I take those bolts out, same thing over here, take that section out. Of course, I've got to take all of the seatbelt straps out. So if I can get focused on that, there we go. And of course the hooks, everything that bolts through the headliner has got to come out. And then the seat belts and all that. Now my headliner is in two pieces. It looks like the front piece overlaps over the back piece. So I am going to start with the front piece. We are taking the headliner all the way out, all the way to the front. So the visors and all that stuff will have to come out. The dome lights, everything will have to come out. So that is going to be the process that we're going to get started on. Okay, so to start, I'm just going to pretty much just work my way, start at the front and work my way back. So that means the visors have to come out, this has to come out, and if you look, it all just kind of overlaps, one thing over the top of another. So it looks like all we've got to do is just kind of just pull it loose very carefully. But I'm going to start with Torx bit. I don't know which one this is. I just found one. Oh, it's a T20. T20. Let's take the visors off. But on camera, nothing wants to go well. I'm going to drop this in here. Another one there. Okay. And then it's all just about getting an angle on it like that, and that's off. Saving the screws, and then that thing will have to come off too, and that is just simply one Torx bit.
It's not liking the light to dark.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So once we start pulling things loose, that's gonna come off real easy. Next thing I'm gonna work on getting this thing off. Although this goes back in behind the dash. So I'm gonna see if I can just get this loose so I can get the headliner down without taking it completely off. Fingers crossed. First though, I'm gonna need to get this off. I need a flat tip screwdriver. I think I may have figured out the trick to getting these little tabs off, maybe. So far I've managed to break two of them. The handle on the back door and the handle here. Trying to get, they hook on right here. So you got to get them to spread out. And it looks like if I push on this right here, yeah, just like that, then it comes right out. See these tabs right here? So if you just pull on it or you try and pry on it, it breaks them. But if you push it down, if you push it in here like this, it causes these to come out. And then once you get these out, then they come out pretty easily. And so now that is exposed right there. And so while I'm here, I'm going to look at this, see if there is an easy way to get this out of here. I said easy, yeah. Doesn't appear to be anything easy about this. I think the key thing is just go slow. Don't force it. Yeah, that looks like that's just kind of compressed up in there. So it's just a matter of just gentle pressure. Trying not to break it. Because it is just plastic. Definitely got a bite on that. Oh, just like that. Luckily didn't break it. Okay, before I pull on that any further, I want to get these bolts out. And for that, I'm going to need to grab a socket. Oh, okay, so the next thing I got to do is take these off. That is a 10mm socket. And that, of course, is going to be really super simple. Definitely looks like that is probably screwed in down there somewhere, but that'll be enough for me to get this loose. So that's good. Just going to repeat this on the other side. Okay, so the next thing I've got to get off is this piece, but before I can take that piece off, I've got to take this piece off, and that is going to consist of a Torx screw. I got to take this handle off. This is going to be just like the other one in the front. This thing here threw me, and I was like, how am I going to get this past there? And then I figured out, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but this, you get a screwdriver under there, it just pops out, hopefully without breaking. There you go. And you can see that it has these two tabs right here that go in here and here, and that goes right into that Torx bit, and that's how you're going to take off the seat belt. And I think I have a Torx bit big enough for that. Yes, I do. But it is pretty stuck fast on there. Let's get some leverage on it. Nope, that's going to be tight.
No falling allowed.
Alright, I have to get some leverage. Hang on a second. So I'm quite sure that they have some thread locker on here because it's a seat belt. You don't want it coming loose. So I'm sure they don't make it easy to get loose. Let's get a little bit more leverage on it. Could it possibly be reversed there? It might be reverse threaded. Or I might just be looking at it backwards. I mentioned I'm only moderately mechanically inclined. Definitely feels like they've got some thread locker or something on there, so we'll have to take a look at that. Make sure that we get it cinched down good and snug when we put it back together. So we don't want the seatbelt coming loose. Yeah, they definitely got some thread locker on there so that didn't come loose. That's why that was so tight. All right, so then we're going to try our new trick on this one and see if it works. You might be able to see this one a little better. Actually, I'll come up on this one right here. You see that? I'm actually going to grab the screwdriver that I lost was in my pocket. And I'm going to take one and I'm going to push down in the center. And then I'm just going to get this one underneath of that edge. Try. Just like that. And then just pull out on it. Just like that. Intact. That's what you want to do. That's the trick to getting them off. I wish I had learned that before I broke 3 of them. But that's alright. I'll find some somewhere. Push on that. And that. Boom. Alright, socket should be right up here. Right there. This should just pop right off of there, and then I don't know if there's going to be, there is something that comes out. I bet you there's a torque screw under there, and then there's going to be another one there I'm going to have to pull the seat forward for. Looks like that's going to have to come off of there. And that is just simply a matter of these parts. Just kind of catch in there with tabs like that. Cool. So I don't think I have to take that any further apart. I think the rest of that will just come off. And then, 'cause, 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 ' light on that. That is actually a Phillips bit. I'd say leave it to Chevy to throw a random Phillips screw in here, but I am betting 20-year-old van, that's probably a previous owner. I know I've never had this apart. All screws must come out. And which makes me wonder now if that one is also a It is also a Phillips bit right there, Phillips screw. Easy. I'm going to try popping that out. I have a feeling there's a screw under that. Could just be, let's see what we get. Try to pop that loose. So from what I have read, this is a danger point, that these clip in here really tight, and if you're not careful, you'll break this. So we're going to try and get this loose without breaking it. That is the goal. And what I'm guessing, it's probably a hard replacement part to get. I'm sure that this slot in here makes this weak. I see. Up here, maybe. Come out first. It wants to go. Oh, I see. There is a tab in there that goes up underneath of that. So maybe that needs to come out first. So what do we got to do that? I see a screw. Oh, wait, that's just there. And then I see a screw right here. That appears to be a Phillips. It's weird that they use just such a mixture of Phillips screws and torque screws. Why not just use one or the other? I'm done. These are all going to be torque screws because these bits are going to get screwed up. These screws are going to get messed up going in and out like that. under there. It's right about there. Yep. You can see what's holding these in are these clips right there. That's what's holding that together. That screw is still. There we go. There's that part. And now this part should be able to come out more easily. Definitely appears to be loose. And then there's another one right there. A screwdriver in there behind it. It's right in here somewhere. Right there. That's definitely just a plug. Come loose. Right there, right there. Okay, not too bad. What's that? What's going on down here? There's something. Aha! I see a screw. Found it. See, there's a little cutout right there. It didn't look like there was a screw in there, but there is a screw down here attached to a little metal tab. Careful that doesn't fall on you. Right there. Thank God I didn't force that anymore. Alright. So, this part is connected literally, this one tab. And this is right there. So if you're taking yours apart, you know where this is at. You got to get in there with a screwdriver back behind right in here and pry that out, and that comes out of the wall right there. And that is a sticky point, and that, if you don't get that in the right place, you yank on it too hard, it'll break right here. So we were able to get this off without breaking it. I call that a win. I call that a win. Look at that. That is loose there, and so now we're gonna go work on the other side. Okay, so I'm intentionally leaving the dome lights up. Those are gonna be the last things that I'm gonna take out because they're what's holding it up in place right now. So I'm going around taking all of the side trim pieces off first, and then I'll drop that headliner down after I take the dome lights out. So I have all these pieces out. Now I just got to get this piece, and it looks like I got another Phillips screw there. So far everything just seems to be just pretty much just popping out. Once you get the screw out, then that piece is just a matter of just prying those clips out. And so far it hasn't been really getting the Phillips screws out has been really the most challenging part. They're whatever Phillips screws they use, they're intended to go in, but they're not easy to get back out. That one was the easiest
I was
one.
gonna say that's the easiest one so far.
Yeah, these things they literally just pop out. So easy. Okay, this thing does not have any screws on it, so I'm gonna assume that it just pops out. Pretty safe assumption. Yeah, there's a little tab in there holding that up there. I see that. Probably have to get in there, pry that out. That's going to be one of those plastic push-in tabs. But it looks like now I've got to get that coat hanger out, and then I've got to get that trim piece off the side there that's got the seat belt on it. So that'll be my next thing. Takes a minute when you got to do it by hand. There we go. Put that in our parts bucket. Like that. Okay. And then this again, I'm assuming, pops out. And we'll have to grab our Torx bit and pull that one out.
There we go.
See if that one comes out even reasonably easy. So far the other ones have all come out pretty easy. That first one was pretty tough, but these other two have been pretty easy so far. Something. Sit down to work. A lot easier. Guys that build these things into live-in vans, van life live-in vans, man, I don't know how they do it because there is not enough overhead. That's why we are not going to do that. It's going to be a passenger hauler. All the camping is going to happen on the outside. You'll see it's going to be cool. But before we do that, we got to do this. There's that piece. And Phillips bit. Ooh. Okay. So the next thing we got to do is we got to take this dome light has to come out, and just got to take that lens out. Take that light bulb out. And then there is 2 Phillips screws up here holding it in. Hopefully that's all there is. Yep, just like that.
Excellent.
And for this, we can just disconnect right here. Looks like there's a tab there.
Oh, sorry.
There, and then it just pops up. Like that. Literally falls on the floor, pops up. I'm going to stick this light bulb back in here for safekeeping. I think. Okay. We'll put that in our box of parts. We're going to put this on here also for safekeeping. And then we just got to do the front one. And then this thing should be...
And then we'll just have the little tabs.
Little tabs here.
Little Velcro.
Yeah, those should just come right out.
Nice.
I mean, I could have taken my seat out, but One thing that I read is that it's easier to get in and out if you have the seat to kind of support it. So, we'll see. Kneeling right on my screwdriver. That's fun. Hold on. Make this a little easier on myself. There we go. Oh yeah.
Give yourself a little bit more
That's
room.
what I'm doing now. So a lot of people, when they took their headliner out, they're gutting. So they usually take everything. They're taking the floor out and all. I am not ready to take my floor out. Have not made up my mind for sure what I'm doing with the floor yet. So we're leaving the floor in. Eventually it may come out. I've got a couple of ideas. I might put a rubber gym mat down. But I've also seen a lot of people using vinyl plank flooring, and it looks really nice. So we may go with that too. I definitely want something other than carpet for cleanup and all. All right, I think this thing is all but ready to just fall right out of here. So let's make that the next step. So I hear that this is all primarily held up with Velcro. Seems weird, but it is also fairly fragile material. So the trick is to work at it carefully. Don't pull on it real hard, and just try and separate the Velcro. I'm going to grab a pry bar with me just so I can get a little reach up in there, because once I get past my arm's length, it's going to be kind of hard to get in there. So we're going to do this. Like I say, this is my first time. I did pry on it a little bit just to see how hard it is, and it's actually really super easy now that you've got everything out of the way. This is literally just a little bit of pressure. That tab that's holding it in there is that's what it looks like. That's what's going in these little holes right here. That's really the toughest part, and it comes out really super easy. I didn't even have to use the pry bar to get them out. So, same thing on this side. Just gonna pull loose gently. I head up here where I can see where the next set of Velcro is. And it should be in the cross member. Just like that. Again, remembering to be very gentle. The thing is just all but falling out. Grab right here. There we go. Just like that. And then theoretically, it should just slide back. Seatbelt up there. The important bit that you got to remember is that this fiberboard breaks really easy. It's fiberglass, and you don't have to pull on it very hard. You want to be really gentle with it when you're handling it so that you don't break it, because if you break it, it's never going to stay upright again. So we're gonna just work this thing out of here real careful like. Might need 2 people for this one. Just to be safe, we're going to get 2 of us on this. We want to make sure we're not breaking it. There's 2 of us on this one. It's going to be inside. The other one can be on the outside. Pulling the other one can kind of guide it around all the obstacles, because it is just wide enough for it. There's all kinds of places for it to snap. You go ahead and climb up in there and just follow it out. Yeah.
Hang on.
It's a lot harder to get in there now. A bit like that. There we go. And just bring it back and you can, just set it right down on the floor.
Alright.
There we go. And I'll support it in the middle.
Okay, I'm coming around the seat.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, you don't want to put it on the ground.
No.
Alright, I think I've got it. I got it.
Yep.
Okay, so looking at this, what I've got left to do looks like it's going to be pretty easy. I got to take these two side panels out. I got to take this out. Those are all held in with screws. I will have to take those seat belts out, and that's going to probably take a little bit of exploring to figure out what I've got to do with that. And of course I got to take the coat hooks out. Looks like I might have some kind of tabs or something up there that'll have to come out, but this should come out. Now the one part of it that I'm expecting to be a little bit of a challenge is that the air conditioning system is right here. So I'm probably going to have to mess with that a little bit. So that's going to be the next bit of exploration that we're going to have to do. So I think for this, I think I'm going to use my tools as much as I can. I think that. And one more. There we go. That is all loose. We just gotta take that out. What do we do with our bucket of parts? No more using a screwdriver on this side. No more messing around. In case you're wondering what the Velcro is for, that's for our window screen. So when we sleep in the van with the back door open, we have a bug screen that attaches on there. We'll have to reattach that. Probably put some fresh stuff up there because maybe I can just cut that off. I think I got a knife up there. Yeah, just like that. Okay, so I figured this out. Fought with it for a minute, and I thought I needed to take the speaker out, but the speaker doesn't really seem like it's holding anything in there. The speaker is attached to the plastic. The rule of thumb when we're removing these plastic body parts: patience, persistence, firm, gentle pressure, and it'll just pop out. Wiggle, little jiggle. There it comes. And you just unplug the speaker. Figure out where it's plugged in at. So you just got a tab you gotta lift. There it is. Push in. Just like that. Oh look, more Velcro.
The knife is right in front of you.
Not stock. Here we go. So now that I know that I don't have to mess with the speaker at all, I'm not going to take the grill off of this one. I'm just going to grab a hold of it. Put these screws out, right? Just like that.
It looks like the Velcro is still attached at the bottom as well.
sharp, so keep my fingers out of the way. And pull like that. Old knees. And literally those are just a matter of just putting out. Just like that. Gotta do that 4 times. Here's this thing. I'm guessing, just like in the front, you got to take the seat belt off. There's a little tab right there. Got you. That's super easy. So far, this process has been a lot easier than I thought it would be. Maybe that's why there's no videos. Pretty straightforward. But we're gonna post this anyway. When we put this back together, we are not going to put these rear seat belts back in.
Because we're not going to be using the back seat anymore.
Right, so we'll probably at some point take all this out so we can get the seat belts out. It's usable storage space potentially. Especially here, because that's where the battery is going to go. Okay, come over there. Oh, what do we got up here? These, again, just going to be push-in tabs. Since I got this pry tool right here, I'm going to go ahead and use that to pull those out. Yep. Just like that. Super easy. Alright, there's nothing holding that up there except whatever's in the back. You're right out. I remember a time when I used to be able to just reach up here and climbing in and out of the van was super easy. Now, it's a chore. This should slide right off of there like that. And then this should come loose fairly easily, just like that. Okay, there's that. This thing should pretty much just like that. Easy peasy. Alright, here's that air conditioning vent that I was telling you about. But it literally just sits right on top of the vent tube up there. So, it's not too bad. And that headliner is out. Okay, so if you're installing a roof rack on one of these Astro vans, there's an important bit that you need to know. And I'm not sure what the shop is going to do about this. This is one of the reasons why I'm having it professionally installed. Your cross members for your van are right here. Now, our Astro vans don't have the gutters that they usually, where the side body metal meets the roof metal. Usually there's an overlap and they have gutters in there, and they'll have 2 or 3 layers of sheet metal. Most vehicles that have roof racks in them have those. In fact, the Astro van has them, but they only go, this one on the driver's side goes all the way up to the driver's door, but the passenger side only goes up to the slider. And so if you want a roof rack that goes the whole way, you're not going to have that. So my thought was, we're going to attach it where these cross members go over, and we're going to attach it clear through to the cross members. There's one problem. Chevy put in, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it in the camera? Here, let me see the camera.
Not really well from my angle.
Right there, above the cross member, they sprayed in a high density foam. Struggling to focus.
Yeah.
There we go. Now you can see it. High density foam that goes all the way across. That roof metal doesn't actually touch the cross member anywhere. So if you're only putting riv nuts in these things, which is what the factory does when they put their factory roof rack in there, you're only attaching to this thin sheet metal here on the top. It's really super thin. There's not a lot of structure to this. So I've talked to the guys over there at Lolo, and I'm really hoping that when they go to attach this thing, it's part of why I'm taking the headliner out, is I want them to see, so that maybe we can actually like do something about this, and wherever they're attaching the universal rails for this, we can actually attach it to all the way through to the cross member, so that we'll have good structure here. We want to make sure our rack and our gear and our tent, because there's going to be a rooftop tent go up there, doesn't end up on the side of the highway somewhere. So that's our plan. That's our goal. We want to make sure that we get this thing well attached. Serves 2 purposes for me, because like I said, I'm going to be running some wiring in here, and it allows me to be able to have access to this, to run my wiring, get all that done, so that when I get ready to do my battery system in here, I can have my dome lights running off of the auxiliary battery instead of off of the main battery. So if we're doing anything inside, and running anything off of our electrical outlets or 12-volt jacks or any of that, we can run it off of the auxiliary battery instead of the house or the starter battery. So we'll be working on getting that planned out before we put the headliner back in. So anyway, that's getting the headliner out. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to take me a couple of days, and really only took me maybe a couple of hours, and only that long because I was filming as I was going. So it's a pretty easy project. I definitely am glad that I did it. It'll make getting that headliner easier for the guys, and it'll let me see what they've done once I get it back, and see if there isn't anything we need to do to kind of shore things up a little bit. So anyway, that's it for now, and see you soon.